Hello everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place, and today I thought I would do a video where I went through my TBR and decided what needed to go and what I would actually read. So I'm going to go to my bookcase now and start the process. It could take me a while, so let's get going. I am here and I have got a lot of books to go through. I mean, in relativeness to the hundreds of books that I have, there's not actually that many, which I am actually really impressed with. So I'm going to go through each one and we're going to decide, yes, I'm going to keep it, or no, I'm going to throw it, because some of these books have been sitting on my shelf for years and I'm quite clearly not going to get around to reading them. So let's get working our way through. First one is Gilded Cage by Vic James. I still haven't read this. I was sent the trilogy a long time ago now, and I actually got rid of the second and third book because I didn't think that I would read them, but I kept this one just in case one day I wanted to read it. But I just don't think I'm going to read it. I think for that one it's going to be a bin. Bins on this side, wins on this side. The next one is this copy of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Again, everyone recommended me this book and I'm just not into it. I'm not a great fantasy lover, so I think this one is going to be binned. The next one is The Bells by Donielle Clayton. Now, I actually only got this recently and I do think I'm going to read this because it sounds amazing. There's been a lot of hype about it, so I think I'm going to keep this one. This is a win. And then next one is All I Want for Christmas by Beth Garrett. Now, I only got sent this last month. I just haven't got around to reading it yet, but I am excited for it and I probably will read it in the next few weeks. So this one is a win. The next one is If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon. I love Paige Toon, but I just haven't been in a rom-commy, lovey-dovey mood recently. This is the kind of book that I would read on holiday. That's why I'm toying whether to get rid of it, but am I going to go on holiday anytime soon? Probably not, so I think this one is going to be binned. The next one is The Twisted Tree by Rachel Burge. I got sent this a while ago, but I forgot it was on my bookshelf, and I'm actually really excited for this one now that I've seen it and read the blurb again, so this one is a win. The next one is Raybearer by Jordan Ifwako. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm so sorry if that's wrong. I feel like I got sent this a while ago and it isn't really my cup of tea, so I think this one is going to be binned. Now, when I say binned, it's not going to be physically chucked in the bin. I will probably give it to people or offer them for just paying postage if it's a proof, or a couple of pounds if it's a finished copy, but they just won't be with me anymore. The next one is The Exact Opposite of Okay by Laura Stephen. Now, everyone recommended me this book. I picked it up a while ago and I do think this is exactly the kind of book that I'll like, so I am going to keep this one. The next one is I Made a Mistake by Jane Corrie. I've really just got back into the crime and thriller books. I actually found a few under my bed that I'd had for a few years and I've just got around to reading them, so I am going to keep this one because I think it's one that I will enjoy. The next one is Bad Habits by Flynn Meaney. This is exactly my kind of book. I am definitely keeping this one. It only came a few weeks ago. I just haven't got around to reading it yet, so this is definitely being kept. The next one is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. I've had this book a long long time. I haven't read it, but it's such a beautiful book, and I do think I should really read at least one of the Grishaverse books, and this is probably the one that I would choose, so I'm gonna keep it. The next one is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've had this for so long. I got it a few Christmases ago and it's just been sitting on my bookshelf. I know so many people love this series, so I do think I'm going to keep this one because I do like Holly Black's books. I've read a few of them, so I'm going to keep it. The next ones are this Haunted Mansion series. I am in love with the Haunted Mansion. I only got these a few weeks ago. Again, I just haven't got around to reading them yet. Yeah, they seem super easy reads and the Haunted Mansion is amazing, so these are being kept. The next one is All the Lonely People by David Owen. I am so ashamed that I haven't read this. The Fallen Children is one of my favourite books ever by David Owen, and I waited so long for this book to come out and I just haven't read it. And I am so ashamed that I haven't read it, but I'm going to keep this one for sure. The next one is Don't Wake Up by Liz Lawler. It sounds fantastic. I don't know why I haven't read this. Alex Taylor wakes up tied to an operating table. The man who stands over her isn't a doctor. Like, that sounds amazing. I'm keeping it. I don't know why this one is in here. I must have accidentally put it in because I've 100% read this and it was absolutely amazing. The next one is Invisible Women, Exposing Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. Hannah Witten recommended this book and I've always loved the books she recommends. I just haven't got around to reading this one yet. I really have to be in the mood for non-fiction books, so this one's going to be kept for when I'm in a non-fiction-y mood. The next one is Monsters by Sharon Doggar. Doggar? I don't know. I feel like this is the book that's about Mary Shelley and something to do with Frankenstein, and I was really intrigued by this book. I just haven't got round to reading it. I read it. I'm gonna keep it because it sounds like something I'd like. I'm not being very ruthless, and I think I've got rid of like 4 books and kept about 20. But I did only do a clear out a few weeks ago and I got rid of a lot, so next ones are these DC inspired novels. There is The Killing Joke, Mad Love and The Court of Owls. Now I love the covers of these. They look stunning on my bookcase, and I am a really big fan of DC and Marvel novels being turned into YA books, so I am going to keep these because I will get around to reading them at some point in my existence. The next one is Sweet Pea by CJ Skuse. Now this was actually recommended to me last March by my nurse. I was really ill, long story, but I nearly died back in last March, and I had a nurse coming in 3 times a day after I'd been discharged from hospital after a lengthy stay, and she recommended me this book because she thought that I would really enjoy it, and I just haven't got round to reading it yet, and I am really intrigued because she said it was amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely not getting rid of that one. I just had to be reminded that it was on my bookshelf. That's inconvenient. Yeah, as I say, I just had to be reminded it was on my bookshelf. The next one is His and Hers by Alice Fenny. Just keep finding all of these thrillers that sound amazing that I just haven't read. Like, what have I been doing? I mean, what I'm noticing is all of them are from the beginning and mid last year when I was in a huge reading slump and just wasn't happy at all. So I am going to keep this one. The next one is The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. I've had this one for a while. I really don't think I'm going to read it, so this one is going in the bin. The next one is Foxes by M.A. Bennett. Now I think this is part of the Stag series. I actually haven't read Dogs, which is apparently the second one in the Stag series, so what is really the point of me having this one? I'm gonna bin it. The next one is Scars Like Wings by Erin Stewart. Now this actually sounds really good and it looks like an easy read from the font inside, which I am a massive fan of, so I'm going to keep this one. The next one is Beach Lane by Melissa Dela Cruz. I think I picked this up for like 70p on Amazon and I just don't think I'm going to read it, so this one is going in the bin. The next one is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. I adored, what was the first one called? Everfall, Evermore, Everless, something that started with Ever, and I absolutely loved that. I never read the next book in the series, I just read the first one and I loved it. So I was really excited when I got sent this, and I haven't read it, but I am going to keep it because it looks really pretty and I will read it at some point. The next one is After You by Jojo Moyes. I actually read Me Before You and I loved it. And I also have Still Me by Jojo Moyes, which I'm thinking is the one after this one. Do I keep these? I'm not sure. I loved the first one, so maybe I should, because I read Postscript recently, which is the sequel to P.S. I Love You, and that was amazing, so I'll keep them. The next one is The Once and Future Queen, Clara O'Connor. I don't even remember getting this book. Oh, I feel like this is the one that I kept for my husband, so maybe I'll check with him, because I don't have any interest in it, but it sounded like exactly his kind of book, so maybe I will keep that for him. The next one is The Stranger by Harlan Coben. I adore Harlan Coben. His books are incredible, and I actually watched The Stranger on Netflix. That is what prompted me to get this book, and I think my mum wants to borrow this as well. I mean, she lives in Spain, so God knows when I'll see her next, but yeah, I'm gonna keep this one because I only bought it recently when the Netflix series came out and I'm intrigued. The next one is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I don't know why I haven't read this, because I read The Guest List by Lucy and it was incredible. It was a little bit slow, but this one seems even better and has had better reviews. So now that I've found this again, I will probably read it, hopefully. I mean, I feel like I'm going to do this at like a year's time and I will have not read a single one of these, but fingers crossed. The next one is Last One to Die by Cynthia Murphy. I think I'm going to keep this. It looks like a YA thriller, which there aren't a lot of, well, there aren't a lot of good ones, and I feel like I've heard of this one. And it says Emily Barr and Kat Ellis both reviewed it, who are both authors that I adore, so I'm going to keep it. The next one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Now, I got this because I read that it was about a chronically ill geek, which sounds exactly like me, but I haven't read it yet. Will I read it? I'm not sure. Shall we keep it and see where we are in a few months, because I don't want to chuck this because there's not a lot of representation for chronically ill people in books. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it. And the next one is And the Stars Was Burning Brightly by Danielle Joando. How beautiful is this cover? Like, wow, this is the proof copy. I'm gonna keep this. Like, this is beautiful. I'm a sucker for a pretty book. And the last one is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. Now, I'm not sure if this counts as one that I haven't read because I have started it, not a lot as you can see, but it only came out a few weeks ago, I think, and I've read a bit of it. It's just a really, really heavy read, quite literally, and I feel like holding that book up is a lot of effort. But I love Barack, so I'm gonna keep it. I feel like that didn't really go anywhere. What did we get rid of? I actually only got rid of 8 books, but I feel like 8 is better than none, right? That is everything. At least I've made room for 8 new books on my bookcase, which is always an achievement, especially when I'm ordering books far too regularly at the moment. And that is everything. You had any unhauls recently? What have you got rid of? How big is your TBR? I'm going to quickly count how many I've got to read. From a really quick count, I think there's only 31. Like, that is really manageable. I can do that this year. I mean, obviously I'll be buying new books all the time, so that will be going up, but I feel like that's manageable. I'm really impressed with that. What is your TBR like? Let me know how many books you've got in there, if you can whittle it down, how you plan to read them all. I need to know advice because I want to have a very, very small TBR in a few months. Fingers crossed. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual good stuff. Also, you can turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos, which is usually every Tuesday and every Saturday. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.